It was a cold Tuesday morning in late October when I first saw him. I had just left the coffee shop near the corner of 7th and Main, my usual spot before heading into the office. The wind was biting, the kind that cuts right through your coat and makes you wish you'd stayed in bed. He sat on an old milk crate just outside the train station entrance. A thick, frayed scarf was wrapped around his neck, and fingerless gloves clung to his hands as he tuned a worn-out acoustic guitar. The case lay open beside him, a few lonely coins scattered inside. At first, I barely noticed him. I was running late, half listening to a podcast, already thinking about my meeting that afternoon. But then he began to play. It wasn't loud, not at first, just a few soft chords, almost hesitant. But something about the way he played made me slow my steps. There was a kind of sadness in the notes, but also something steady underneath it, like hope, buried deep but still breathing. I stopped for a moment, just to listen. His voice came in next, and it wasn't perfect. It cracked here and there, rough in some places, almost like he hadn't used it in a while, but it was real, honest. You could feel that he'd lived every word he sang. That's when the group walked by. They came out of the cafe across the street, 3 men and a woman, dressed sharp. You know the kind, long coats, expensive scarves, shoes that click like they're announcing their price with every step. I recognized one of them, David something, big shot investor, always featured in the city business magazines. As they passed by the musician, one of them chuckled loud enough for all of us to hear. "You'd think if he was any good he wouldn't be out here begging," he said. Another added, "Probably just pretending to be homeless. That guitar's probably worth more than his rent." They all laughed, loud, careless, like they were talking about a joke instead of a man with a heartbeat and a story. The musician kept playing, didn't say a word, didn't even look up. But I saw his fingers hesitate for just a second, just long enough to feel it, like their words had scratched something deep inside. It made my stomach turn. I wanted to say something, wanted to call them out, tell them they had no idea who this man was or what he'd been through. But I didn't. I just stood there, hands in my pockets, heart pounding with guilt. The group moved on, their laughter fading into the city noise, and the musician kept playing. But then something happened. He changed songs. This time the chords were stronger, slower. He closed his eyes, tilted his head back just a little, and began to sing with a kind of power I didn't expect. His voice rose, not loud, but full, like it was coming from somewhere deep inside, where pain and beauty sit side by side. The song wasn't one I recognized, but it felt familiar, like something you didn't know you needed until you heard it. The kind of song that wraps around your chest and squeezes, not to hurt you, but to remind you that you're alive. People started to stop. A woman pushing a stroller slowed to a halt. A man in a suit put his phone down. Even the barista from the cafe leaned out the door to listen. Within minutes, there were 20, maybe 30 of us just standing there on the sidewalk, watching him. No one spoke, no one moved. It was like time paused, and in the middle of all of it was him. Just a man with a guitar, and a voice that refused to be ignored. He finished the song with a soft hum, eyes still closed. When he opened them, he looked surprised to see the crowd, like he hadn't noticed us gathering, like he'd been singing to ghosts. And then, we clapped. Not a quick, polite clap, a full, honest round of applause, the kind that says, "We felt that," a woman near me whispered. "He's incredible." I nodded, couldn't even speak. Someone dropped a $20 bill in his case, then another. A few people stepped forward, asked for his name. He smiled shyly, and said, "Everyone just calls me Eli." Over the next few weeks, I saw Eli, again and again, every morning, same spot, same crate. But something was different now. More people stopped to listen. Some brought coffee, a few brought extra gloves, or scarves. A man with a recording studio offered to help him lay down a track. Someone from the local paper did a story on him. They titled it "The Music That Stopped the City." I got to know him little by little, not all at once. Eli didn't talk much about his past, but one morning, after I offered him a warm sandwich, he opened up a bit. He used to be a music teacher, lost his job when the school cut funding, then his mother got sick. He cared for her until she passed. After that, things just unraveled. Rent got behind. Depression set in. He ended up on the street with nothing but his guitar and a backpack. I thought I was done, he said quietly. Thought nobody saw me anymore. But that day when his song stopped the world for just a moment, he said something shifted. It reminded me that I still had something to give. He said that maybe I wasn't invisible. I never forgot that. And I never forgot how fast people had judged him, just because of how he looked, where he sat, and what he had. The wealthy folks who mocked him never came back, far as I know, but I like to think maybe they heard the story. Maybe it reached them somehow, made them think twice. Eli eventually got a spot, performing at a small venue every Friday night. It's not Carnegie Hall, but it's warm, it's honest, and the place is packed with people who listen, people who see him. He still plays at the train station some mornings. Even now, after everything that's happened, after people started to notice him, after his name began to spread, after he found a little light in the darkness, he comes back to that same spot. The old crate is still there, a little more worn now. He sets his guitar case down like it's part of a quiet ritual, something sacred. He tunes the strings slowly, like he's saying hello to an old friend. He says it keeps him grounded. That being there reminds him not just of where he came from, but of who he is. He told me once, it's easy to forget, easy to let comfort make you believe you were never down. But I need to remember. I want to remember. Some mornings, I pass by on my way to work, and I hear him before I see him. Just a few soft notes drifting through the air, cutting through the city noise. It always makes me slow down. Doesn't matter how busy I am, or what's waiting for me in my inbox. I stop, every single time. Because in those first few chords, something stirs in me. It's like his music has this quiet power, this way of reaching into places we don't usually show people, places we keep hidden. And in that moment, I remember what he taught me, not with speeches or advice, but with the simple act of showing up, of playing anyway, of holding on to beauty, even when life feels heavy and cruel. He taught me that sometimes strength doesn't roar, sometimes it hums gently from the edge of a busy sidewalk, reminding the world it's still here. And I'll never forget that everyone has a story, that kindness costs nothing, and that sometimes the most powerful voice comes from the quietest place. So if you ever pass a street musician, don't look away, don't assume, stop for a moment, listen. You might just hear something that changes everything.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe and hit the bell icon. Stay updated with my latest uploads so you don't miss a thing. Every subscriber helps this channel grow. Drop a like. If this video helped, entertained, or inspired you, let me know with a thumbs up. It boosts the video's reach and tells YouTube you enjoyed it. Leave a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What was your favorite part? Any suggestions for future videos? Let's chat in the comments. I read every single one. Share with a friend. Know someone who'd love this? Share it with them. Spreading the word helps more people discover this content.